Shaun, can you tell us about the day that you told your parents that you were moving to Los Angeles, and what were the emotions that were going through you at that time?
So yeah, that's interesting because I had been talking about moving to Southern California for a while, and I had a very close friend of mine who we had similar dreams, similar aspirations, and actually in a lot of ways, it was him pushing me to follow my dreams and chase my dreams. His name is Josh Taylor, and he was a incredibly gifted actor, comedian, also musician, singer, the whole nine. He was just one of those people that anything he put his energy into, he excelled. And we had a English class together in junior high, I think is where it first started. And that teacher, Mr. Young was his name, was amazing. He would give Josh like 10 minutes at the end of class to basically do a stand-up routine. And he really recognized that energy, and Josh pulled me into being a part of it. And so that's kind of how I started really kind of thinking about it past, I grew up in the theater with my father being a drama professor, all that. So I was, in the theater world, I was very comfortable. But this kind of going up, just almost stand-up in a way, improv was a little bit newer to me at the time. But he kind of really pushed me. And so over the years, our kind of dream of moving to Southern California, Los Angeles, pursuing the dream of being actors really at that time. What ended up happening is he decided he couldn't go. And so I was kind of left last minute, going, do I go or do I, by myself? And my parents have always been super supportive. And they knew for years and years, I don't remember the exact moment I told them I was going to move down there, but it was just kind of common knowledge. In my hometown, I was directing commercials and acting in them from like 16 years to like 20 years old. I'd probably done like 30 commercials. And so the kind of creative endeavors were always supported by both my mom and dad. They thought it was amazing. They loved it. And they said, you should pursue this. So just always support from them. There was never like any pushback or anything like that. And so it was just a matter of when I was going to go, and I also did some live performance stuff. And I made it onto the news several times just for those kinds of things.
Nice.
And again, even in those conversations, it was, so what are you going to do? Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years? It was, I'm going to be down in Los Angeles, pursuing my dream of making movies. It was always that kind of thing. So the exact moment I don't recall, but all those conversations with my parents were always, you've got to pursue it. It's just in you. There's something that you have to express, and we support that. And so when my good friend decided at that time that wasn't the path for him, obviously I was a little scared, and kind of everything that I had planned was now in the open. And both my parents were like, "You got this. You have made this plan. You should follow through with it. You should do it." And so I did. And it was a very emotional day, the day I left. That was really emotional. They helped me pack up a truck and with the trailer and kind of everything I owned packed up in there, and ventured out on my own, which just a week earlier I thought was going to be, with me and my best friend. But yeah, I did it, and no regrets, and I think I've always been adventurous in that way, like big life decisions. Met and married my wife within 1 month, and we've done some, buying houses to just uprooting and moving. We've done these things. She's very much spontaneous that way as well, and so we've kind of done a lot of big life decisions. We'll spontaneously make a choice and just go with it. And I think what we understand is that we're going to have an adventure no matter what. And that, that's kind of my mindset as well. I'm like, let's just go for it, let's see what happens. And luckily my parents were very supportive in that way.
That's awesome. Do you still keep in touch with Josh?
So we reconnected years later, and yes, so we still keep in touch. Full circle, kind of coming back. He lives in Portland now, and married, has a wonderful family, kid, and he still plays music and has a band and all of that. So I was doing my second feature when we kind of reconnected through social media. You know, it was one of those things, and I said, I've got this sequence in this movie. It's an action movie, and it is this guy trying to go the straight and narrow. So he's trying to do the right thing in life and not be part of this criminal underworld. And his friends in the criminal underworld, they're trying to do this kind of heist thing without him. And so in the movie, it's cross-cut between him trying to get a regular job and them going and trying to shoot up this speakeasy. And both scenes are playing out, they're cross-cutting with each other. And I just had this vision of Josh singing this song, just him and an acoustic guitar, this kind of slow, melodic thing that I knew he could do really well from way back when we were kids. And so when we reconnected, I went, I've got this, I'm doing this movie, and would you be willing to do an original song for it? And so that kind of, full circle friendship came back, and he did. The song is awesome. The very first version he sent me, it was it. He was like, tell me if you want changes, you want no. Of course, I told him the story, I told him what was going on, and he wrote the lyrics that kind of matched with it. But the very first version he sent me, it was it. And I was like, nope, I don't need anything else. This is what's going to go in the movie, and it did. And everybody loved that scene. That was like the scene people talked about in the movie. So that was a really cool thing to be able to reconnect with him. And I hope to do some more in the future. To get him to do some music for them would be amazing.
Very cool. Did you almost not drive down since your sort of partner in crime, your friend that you sounds like you looked up to him too a lot, decided that he didn't want to go?
I think that there was definitely that moment. I think there was definitely that moment of self-doubt, or could I do this on my own? Especially because it kind of had been this joint dream of ours, But again, I think I had support from my family and all of that. But sure, I definitely had that moment and felt that way. But ultimately, I think through the experiences in my life, the family support, also martial arts training. I trained martial art from very, very young. I think that probably gave me the confidence to overcome any of those doubts. But yeah, definitely had it. Definitely was there. Definitely was, questioning that whether or not to do it.
So you're driving down the 5, of course, obeying the speed limit, I'm sure, right?
With that big old trailer, I was probably going slower than the speed limit. Okay. And the grapevine was scary.
Ooh,
I'm not even gonna lie. The grapevine
terrifying.
coming over that hill, in that it was a old Chevy S10. It was 4-cylinder. It was gutless, and then having this big old trailer pulling behind was very interesting.
Right, and then you see the part where it's like, if your brakes fail, you can go up this thing. And you're
Yes,
like, why are
those
they
signs,
telling me
right.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.